Hello and welcome, and it is that of the end of the 24th day of July 2018. This is the Money Charts channel. My name is Derek, and I'd like to welcome you, and this will be talk about the Bitcoin Electronic Traded Fund, or the ETF by the SEC. Long story short, it looks as if maybe it's got a very, very high likelihood of occurring, and from the sounds of it, would take a few weeks into that of August. And I wonder if these ETFs are to exist, are they actually buying Bitcoin? And to what degree? To how many of them? How many millions, or a large number of millions? Maybe, I don't know, how many are they putting into it? Will it trade on the ETF at a 1-to-1 scale? Meaning, if they buy, well, for every 1,000 Bitcoins they buy, are they going to have 1,000 on the market? Or will they have 2,000? Fractional reserve trading, that's an interesting situation. I'll look more into that later on. But obviously, if you're going to be building an exchange for this, you got to think that it's going to be a very large size market. I did a Google search for how large would a Bitcoin ETF market be? Question mark. CryptoDisrupt.com from 19 hours ago states beat Bitcoin ETF 90% chance of approval. So I guess, I don't know the legitimacy of that, but that's high probability odds. New Bitcoin ETF would set buyers back $200,000, Wall Street Journal. This is that of June the 6th. Continuing further lower, February 10th. How an ETF approval could impact BTC's price. December 8th. Big changes coming as Bitcoin futures trading ETFs launch. Now, those were the futures. And November 13, will ETF become Bitcoin's holy grail? Question mark. 2 days ago, from Forbes, next big Bitcoin price boost could be just around the corner. And they're saying this after the price had already broken decent resistance and was barely below 8,000. Now it's barely below 8 at this time. December 12th last year, Bitcoin ETF could launch in 6 months on ETF.com. Well, here we stand 7.3 months later, and it's relatively close, not too bad. And looking at this even further, like, I didn't get the answer for how much would be placed, like how big of an ETF market would it be, but if they're putting it on the Wall Street, you know it ain't going to be something small like 40 or 50 million dollars. And therefore, what I decided to do was check some exchanges out. And I tried Binance, Poloniex, and Bittrex. Binance I really couldn't get any data from, but I did on Bittrex and Poloniex. Current price at around 84.50. 84.51 was the last trade on Bittrex. 84.30 as of about 20 or 30 minutes ago when I got this data. But what was important was how much it would bring the price up to if you were to have 250,000 US dollar tethers and buy it all in Bitcoin at market price. You would have moved the market up to 84.99. With $1 million, you would have marked it up, or moved the market up to 8,773. And the largest I could find on there was the price point moving up to $12,000, and at that of $2.1 million. So $2 million on one site would bring the price up almost 50%. Poloniex, current price 84.30 within this time frame. It would be about the same to get the number up to $250,000, or to the price would be the same with the $250,000. You'd only bring it up like 0.5%. $250,000 isn't much in this game. And then at a full million, in this case, 85.13. Okay, so there's your 1% move if you got $1 million. Of course, 1% or $1 million on Bittrex would have been that of $320, or about 4% move. So if you're able to accumulate tether, it would be a mistake on multiple fronts to spend it on Bittrex. Multiple fronts. Well, the obvious is that you could buy the market up cheaper on Poloniex. But the rate on Bittrex is 0.25%. So if you're playing multiple millions of dollars in trades, you're playing multiple thousands of dollars in that of exchanges. Exchange fees, that's a lot. Where Poloniex, if you're a big game player, you can go better than that 0.1% fee. As we can see here, within such an exchange, any player making the maker 0.1% fee, and Bittrex is 0.25 regardless. Now, I don't know if they have cheaper prices for bigger players. I don't know. But if you trade greater than $500,000 per 30 days, it's 0.08%, and so on and so forth. You can see that if you're doing greater than 5 million, then you're paying 0.02%, and if you're doing 7.5 million, you don't even pay trades. And that's, of course, if you are the maker. Of course, as a taker, if you're going to be buying that up, then well, let's get real here. It's still going to be very costly, because even if you've been trading 7.5 to 9 million, or anywhere up to under 10 million, you're paying 0.2% of a fee. So now you'd be talking about paying several of thousands of dollars. But it is definitely worth noting that $12,000 on Poloniex would cost 5 million, and $12,000 on Bittrex would cost 12 or 2.1 million. And the highest I've seen on Bittrex was that 7.2 million was the sell order sum at 16,800. On places like Bitfinex, I've been to their webpage before. Basically, they came out up front within their page saying, hey, we're a big game site, and we don't want you unless you're a big game trader. You don't play for small stakes here. And you don't just hold your funds there. Although as traders, if you hold it for a month or 2 months for spots, I mean, that's normal too. I think, anyway. However, they mention themselves being big that way. So I would presume that trading fees are relatively low there. But I think regardless of the situation, that if there is one institutional or form of entity from one person's decision to buy it up big, throw in the fact that other people are buying it anyway, and more might even buy it because of such a situation, that's going to cause a very interesting price increase moving forward. And if we look at ETF buying, this is something you just don't do in one day, or even 1 week, or well, I'm not going to say weekend because you take the weekends off, but 1 week even. Although 1 week you might be able to get it done. This is something you do every so often. You buy here and there. You might go very aggressively over a 1 hour period, 20 minute, 1 hour, 2 hour period, but you're going to continuously do it. So if this is going to be the case, then this type of up run could just be consistently trading many green candles up, staying within the 18 average of highs. And in this case, it's been aggressively staying above it with limited time, having price action even going into or even that of below the 18. For that of any decent price corrections would probably be very short and quick. And of course, when there's big up moves, there's going to be large people, large whales in the game that are going to be selling as well. And even the ETF traders that are coming in, they might be playing the game along the same way, meaning they're accumulating, but as they're accumulating, they're looking to sell the market down and buy it back. And what would ETF makers, the people who own it, know about getting in and out of markets for profits? They would know a lot about it. Whether that's something they'd be doing, not too sure. But long story short, if that's the case and they're needing to buy it, whether they're swing trading along the way or not, the prices are going to rise exceptionally high. Then the next question is going to be poised. What about the other coins, the Litecoin, the Ethereum, the Ripples, and all of the other big ones on the major market caps? These coins, if you were to look at the percentage moves you would take to bring these up, oh, it would be so much lower for those coins than it is this. And that's the main primary reason why the altcoins have much higher rates of ascent and descent. Oh, did you hear Bitcoin tripled in price over a period of time? Yeah, this altcoin went up 7x and this one went up 15x. Oh, okay. And then you're going to hear later, oh, but Bitcoin's down 3 times lower. Yes, this other one's down 15 times lower, 8 times lower. And that's because of the liquidity of how thin and that the other books are, the bid and ask books, compared to this one, that the more larger a market gets, then the more less volatile that it's going to be. Thus, when people complain or talk bad about Bitcoin because it's not a stable currency because of the major price fluctuations, well, for the Bitcoin price to be stable and to have movements like a normal stock market would, where 3% moves in a day is large and normal moves are 0.4% per day in that area, well, then you're going to need a lot more participants in the market, or a lot more time and probably a lot higher prices for an event, or definitely a lot higher prices for that many people to come in, for that kind of situation to come into place. And even then, it's only going to be, this volatility is going to always be at a certain level based on, of course, the amount of bigger players there are, and then there's always going to be the situation where the storm comes in and everyone's on a major consensus to one side or another. Then the self-fulfilling prophecy happens. Everyone's bearish, everyone's selling, it goes down fast, everyone's excited, like maybe at this point now, everyone's buying, and it goes up in a major elevator ride higher. Because that's what this is doing. It's in the elevator right now. And I see no signs of it stopping to get off at this floor right now. As far as I'm concerned, it's still continuing to ride this elevator higher up several other floors. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.